Welcome back to Lesscashmoremash. My name's Tom.
I'm like,
Today, we're cracking open a new bottle of Four Roses Single Barrel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, I'm sure everybody already knows, but we're gonna touch on the base of it. Now, the Four Roses came out with 4 new recipes, and I'm sorry we did not write down the original recipe that went with it, but they came out with 3 new recipes. So far, we have found 2 of them. They are OBSF, OESO, OESK, and I forget what the original one actually was. Maybe it was even one of them. That was the original one. So we're going to try to get them, and we're going to see if there's a difference in all the flavors and the taste and stuff like that on there. So let's get right into the particulars on this one, and then we can talk some more about it. So this comes in a regular single barrel at 100 proof. We got it for $44.99. This happens to be Warehouse NS, and it's barrel number 5-3K. And again, it's distilled and aged at Four Roses Distillery, LLC, out of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. And again, this one we're trying today is OBSF. So,
is that actually 700?
I do not believe so. They used to be, or usually are, 750.
Again,
I did not look, but now he's going to have
so deceiving of a look.
all of them. Yeah,
Compared to what we just looked at.
I will look in a second. I do believe they are 750 milliliters. So I didn't look. So we're going to try to grab as many of these as we can. My wife's hair out of here. That's disgusting. It is a 750 milliliter. So, again, you guys enlightened us last year on the actual store picks. I hope they engulf these into store picks. Do you know what I mean? Because that extra, 20 proof was just made it insane.
Where I shop, I just never see them.
Yeah. I was lucky enough because a lot of you guys were like, how are you finding these? Because they usually on the shelf and off. But where Steve's work was, he had found a bunch of them.
He did.
And got us a bunch of them when we were looking for them. So, again, best shopper on the channel, hands down, by far. This has got quite the nose on this guy,
It does, actually. And it might even be like an oak and on a low side.
Yeah, so it doesn't say on I did minimal research on this one because I wanted to really just get in there and try it. It doesn't have an age statement. It's non-age stated. I'm sure it's rumored probably, I forget when we usually do them, they're like 4 to 6 years or something like that, but I'm not sure on that. It is a straight bourbon whiskey, so it's got to be at least 4 years. I think isn't that the rules, or 2 years? I forget. But it's non-age stated, and it didn't have a mash bill on the actual bottle itself. So
this has a pretty good oak finish.
I'm getting a cherry, too. You getting a maraschino cherry?
I went right for a sip.
Okay, I'm getting right off the nose. I'm getting a nice caramel-coated maraschino cherry is what I'm getting off of this one.
I am not getting that. But I did get a very heavy oak finish.
Wow. That's dancing on my tongue, though. There's got to be a good amount of rye in this. That is pop rocky all over the place. I switched it around, don't get me wrong, but it
holds on everywhere.
I burnt my tongue when I ate pizza the other day, but it was bopping around.
Oh,
it's on there for 100 proof.
No, it's
I don't know if my first sip I would go with 100 proof.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean? Like it had a nice little spice to it,
and it does kind of sit in your neck a little bit.
Ooh, not on that first sip. Let me try the second one.
Maybe I went bigger because I can, when I see a bottle I can do better than.
No, I get you. I'm just
sampler,
like in comparison, and again that's 130 to 100. When we did like yesterday's, like that lasted way longer and it coated way more. But that's where that single barrel was key, especially when we did all 4 of them. We got that 120 was like it had a way better finish. But as far as like just something that's around the 100 proof, this is nice.
And with that, though, it's not harsh. It's very tasty, very flavorful, but it's not punching. It's no elbows. It's not an Ezra. And I don't get me wrong. I do like my Ezra on a regular basis, but this is pretty easy for 100 proof.
It's drinking.
You don't get a lot of, even 101. This is like way easier than
it is, but it's drinking over like the amount of pop rock numbness I get on my tongue.
Residually, it does stick around. it just doesn't give you the harshness.
Correct.
Like, you
There's
know,
no
so
elbows going down. Like when you swallow it, there's absolutely zero fight in your throat.
Correct.
Or yeah, I
it's,
am actually.
It's easy
starting,
that way.
It is settling though.
No, it does.
Yeah, it's starting on the second sip. It's settling
because it's again. You can do a little bit better sip and kind of get a better evaluation. So for me,
that's because we're
this
rookies at this. You
this
should be
is-
able to do it on one tiny little sip.
okay.
Ask Fred; he'll tell you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm not good like
Okay.
that either. Half a
Good.
bottle later, I'm like, I think I like it.
Fred makes a living out of that.
Yeah,
so.
no, he did for the longest time.
We for the price and everything. This is
Well,
it's worth seeking out. I
Yep.
mean, you're not going to go. It's 100 proof. It's not really going to kill you. It's as far as hitting you hard. It's pretty tasty.
In relation to it, we always say this: there is cheaper ones out there. And man, this has a nice fruity flavor, though. You know, like the Old Forester's a little bit cheap and stuff like that. But on contrast to that, you got like Remus Repeal. That's 100 proof or 101 proof, and you're paying 100. Yeah, you're paying 100 and something dollars.
And only 7's out. I looked at that today. We don't have. We need 8.
We did 8.
We did 8.
There's an 8 behind us. I think we did 8.
1, 2, 3. All right. So all I seen was 7.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure we did 8, but this is very tasty. I will
very
say
easy.
that we don't have the original one. I'd have to be in search for like the original one to actually see. If we can get all the recipes, then we'll have to pick up the original one too on there. So we have a couple of them.
That'd be a Steve thing because I don't see the others out there. So
No, the thing I found with these is they flood the market and then they're gone for a bit, and then they flood the market. And you know what I mean? Like even when I found it, it was like, oh look, there's a small batch select, and now there's a, you know what I mean? And then you don't see them for a while. They're not in any of the stores, and all of a sudden they're everywhere. When I found them, that's when I found them. Because I've got a couple single barrels, but again, this year or I believe it was the end of 24, they actually came out with the new recipes to actually go with it. Because it was always just one of the recipes, and I didn't find it when he just looked real quick, because it doesn't matter. That one's been out forever. I wanted to try the new ones as they go.
I'm not disappointed.
No,
Would
not
I
at
be
all.
happier if it was 120 by 100,000? I would. But for the price and everything, I'm
right.
not
But
sad.
I'm assuming because of the fact that they do, you know, because that used to be that like all the different recipes were like store picks. I'm assuming they're going to end up bringing the store picks, like these recipes, into that too. You know what I mean? Like once they have enough barrels,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once they have enough barrels of it and they age them appropriately, one has to assume that they would eventually let them come out to be a store pick, so where they can keep it at a barrel strength and do it like that. So, we'll have to see what the future brings. But, this is one of the brands that people love or hate. And people get in their head. I have never got floral off of this, and I think it's subliminal because it says 4 roses, so you expect to get that rose smell. I have never got that, and in fact, ours plays very well in our end of the year blind. That had those over there had like such a long finish, and I guess in my head where if I had the negative, the finish isn't lasting as long, but it's not the same proof.
I was gonna say
it's 20 proof less.
I was gonna say 400 proof.
No, I get it.
There was when we did the Battle of the 4 Roses. It was a while ago. One of them I think was 100 proof, and
there were 110. Two were 110.
Okay, 2 were higher and 2 were lower.
2 were 120 and 2 were 110. Yeah.
So and they did for us. They did lack a little. We're not saying we're the high proof snobs, but it just did lack.
You could tell the difference. It didn't have as long a finish and all that stuff.
Correct.
In my head, and it's been a long time since I've had one because I end up killing them every time I get them. I'm probably on my 4th one. I think this would fight with Knob Creek 9, like all of them. Like any of the 100 proofers that we had, this would be right in battle with all of them. I wouldn't mind putting this up as winner of the Remus and see how this did. You know what I mean? I think it would battle with them. We got some blinds in store for them.
Those are 2 good picks actually right off the bat.
Yeah,
Knob and Remus.
It would be if I didn't drink all the knob. But we'll have to get the only knob I have left. I think is the 18. Is the only one I have left. The rest of them, I don't know what happens. It gets hot up here. They evaporate and stuff like that. You know what?
It's easily found.
It's just that it is. It is. But they're just one of them. It's just again. Knob was our shelf killer before we had shelves.
That's an 8 year too, right? The Knob is 8.
Knob 9.
9.
Knob 9. Yeah.
So that's the only
is the cheap one.
Well, it'd be the perk up because this is 5 to 3.
I'm not sure what this is. It
so
was
we don't
not
know. So
I think they always say
but
like
it usually does all right.
No, again, this has a generous. I agree with you. It does finish with an oaky presence. It has a good flavor throughout. It's not breaking. It's not bringing.
Knob.
Yeah.
Actually, so with that, and then we get the Old Forester. That'd be all right. Old Forester knob and this and
even Remus, because Remus is 100, 101. You know what I mean?
And Remus is the high price one.
Correct.
I don't think it's going to stand.
No,
out.
but that's what makes it a good blind. You know what I mean? Because you want to put the lower price ones up against the higher price ones. You know what I mean? So we got plenty of 100 proofers out there, or 101, somewhere in that lower range. We'll end up putting these up. I will be on the hunt to try to get all of the new flavors, and I'd like to stick them up against themselves. Let's get the best one, and then we'll put the best against all these others and see how it actually rolls. But again, future time, write that down, because we got a bunch of blinds. When you find stuff like this, again, you can leave a comment down below. There are as many lovers as haters of Four Roses, though. So,
right. So even with that, do we trick ourselves or try to trick ourselves? Do we throw in the Evan Williams and see if because that's way down here?
I'd love to throw in a Dickel.
Does that compete?
Because Dickel's like a 13-year. I'd have to find another one, because the bottle and bond I have just has a tiny amount. It only has a little bit left in it.
I might know where that is.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's another one that just brings a ton of flavor.
Because Dickel's right near La Prague.
Because it's only like 20-something bucks for the Dickel, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when you can find them, they're just hard to find in Mass for whatever reason. But, all right, well, there you go.
We sold all our ideas now.
Yeah, there you go. So if someone beats us to a blind, you know why. So but if you actually, so we don't want to keep jamming them down your throat, but I do want to get these out, because I'd like to see, out of the new recipes, which one comes in, which one we actually like the best, all being 100 proof. It'd be just a good blind that way.
Still a pretty easy drink.
It has a generous flavor.
It does.
It's not as long as, like, say, yesterday, but it's not 130 proof either. You know what I mean? Yeah, and malt and all the other stuff that they had. Oh yeah, definitely day and night. But it has a generous. For 100 proof.
You could sit here and you could sip on it.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, there you go. We'll keep this one short and sweet. This is the Four Roses Single Barrel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Again, this is recipe OBSF. So we will be on a hunt for the other ones. We'll see what we can do. That being said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Spend less, drink more. Cheers.